Thank you, everyone, for making this gathering possible, taking your time out and coming together. I will be sharing on the theme of remember and offer. Work as worship. Remember and offer is a phrase that is coming from the mother, a very well-known phrase. It is so simple and incredibly effective and a beautiful way to progress on the path. So when we say remember, remember what or remember whom? Yes, in theory, we know remember the divine. But in practice, when we are spending our daily routines, moment to moment, we are in a state of forgetfulness. Not by choice, that is the nature of consciousness. We live in a state of constant forgetfulness, kind of semi-sleep walking. Doing things habitually and occasionally remembering. Without remembrance, offering cannot take place. Without offering, work cannot become worship. So how do we remember? How do we inculcate that as a practice? But if we ask a mother with a newborn child, is there an effort in remembering her child wherever she is? When she is preparing food, or doing daily routine tasks, there is always a part of her heart, her mind, occupied with the child. There's no effort, it's not a practice. It's something so natural when the heart holds the baby. And the child is in your heart. Your love is a living reality. The child is an extension. You are that. Same way, in our teenage, when we fall in love, first time, That love becomes so intense. The remembrance of the beloved is so natural. There is no effort. An open heart, a living image seated in the heart. It's something so simple. Sri Aurobindo uses this phrase, a living image seated in the heart. Usually we associate images with the mind. But when there is this profound love, then we have the image seated in the heart. The famous picture of Hanuman opening the heart, where Rama and Sita are dwelling. It's a popular image in India. When the divine is dwelling in the heart, and when we are conscious of that presence, when that love is real, then there is constant remembrance. With that remembrance comes the possibility of offering everything that we do to the divine. And it is probably the most beautiful and simple way to open and surrender to the divine presence and receive the grace of the divine in the process and grow through that grace, the most effortless path of love. Then work become love made visible, an offering, a worship. Only in love the adoration come into picture. To adore, to give oneself completely. For some people it comes very easy, natural. For some, the journey begins with contemplation in the mind. There's a beautiful poem from Sri Aurobindo. It's called Who. I would like to read few lines. They are amazing, beautiful to contemplate. In the blue of the sky, in the green of the forest, who is the hand that has painted the glow? Imagine looking at the sky and looking at a tree, green nature. To contemplate, whose is the hand that has painted the glow? To awaken such a curiosity, to have such contemplation, to see behind, to see beyond. I read again the line, in the blue of the sky, in the green of the forest, Whose is the hand that has painted the globe? When the winds were asleep in the womb of the ether, who was it roused them and bade them to blow? He is lost in the heart, in the cavern of nature. He is found in the brain where he builds up the thought. Now this is very interesting line. Is it possible to look at our own thoughts that are streaming through our mind and to look at as if it is the divine who is building up all these thoughts streaming through us? Aurobindo says, he is lost in the heart, in the cavern of nature. He is found in the brain where he builds up the thought. Just contemplating on our own thoughts, just looking at them without fighting with thoughts, without forcibly trying to create silence in the heart or in the mind. Just looking at them, contemplating the divine presence moving all things. Aurobindo continues, in the pattern and bloom of the flowers, he is woven. In the luminous net of the stars, he is caught. So every time when we look at a flower, a leaf, or the stars, to remember, who is this? Aurobindo continues, in the strength of a man, in the beauty of woman, in the laugh of a boy, in the blush of a girl. So these are our everyday encounters. Looking at someone, a man of strength in great action, to see who is behind that action. What is animating the person? What is that power? Or looking at the beauty of woman, to adore and admire, and to see from what delight such an incredible beauty and creation can arise. Who is behind this wonder? Or listening to the laugh of a boy, or seeing the blush of a girl. What is this presence? This incredible, delightful presence. Who is this being behind all this? Aurobindo continues, the hand that sent Jupiter spinning through heaven spends all its cunning to fashion a curl. For the divine, it is the same. Whether it is spinning Jupiter in the space or fashioning a curl. The same presence. Scale makes no difference. Like in every grain, the presence is there. Like Ishavasya Upanishad says, Ishavasyam idam sarvam. Yat kincha jagatyam jagat. Every grain, every particle is inhabited by that presence. Regardless of the scale. So to remember, to contemplate. Further lines, these are his works and his veils and his shadows. But where is he then? By what name is he known? Is he Brahma or Vishnu? A man or a woman, bodied or bodiless, twin or alone. These are beautiful lines to contemplate, to inculcate that mindset of looking at all things in existence as that, as the divine. Whether it is a flower, a boy, a girl, a man, a woman, the Jupiter, or the simple curl of a hair. Whatsoever. To set that attitude, who is this magician behind? And Sri Aurobindo, when he was in the jail, he was contemplating on a phrase from the Gita, Vasudhaiva Sarvam Iti. All this is Vasudhaiva, Krishna. And through that continuous contemplation, he enters realization. To keep the mind focused, which is easy when love opens up, when the heart is open to the divine. In love, there is no effort. There is natural, spontaneous self-giving, offering, like a flower being offered, or a flower opening up the grace of light. When this contemplation deepens and this mindset settles, this heart opens to that possibility. Then we have the simplicity of being, the simplicity of a child, curious, fascinated. Everything gets reduced and simplified into that one being. Whatever be the name and image you give to that, whatever be the form of a Ishta Devata, to contemplate, to have that living image seated in the heart. And to fall in love. To open to love of the divine. Which is way beyond what we can imagine. It's so fundamentally different from the human love. To immerse in it, we need to open our heart, open our mind. And in deep listening, the listening to the winds, listening to the birds, naturally, there is a silence that settles. There is a peace that gradually infuses itself because we are getting one fundamental relationship right. All relationships, all interactions, all activities, everything is simplified into the single relationship, single purpose, single pursuit. Who? Like in Kena Upanishad, Keneshitam patati preshitam manah. By whom propelled my mind is going after, my thoughts are going after its objects. Just contemplation on that. To see who is behind all things, who is behind the speech, who is behind listening. To sense the ocean of energy in which we exist, in which our breath is happening, the ocean of prana. Even simple contemplation on breath, the in-breath and out-breath, like every out-breath as an offering, naturally happening, effortlessly happening, just being consciously present, without any struggle, surrendering to the vast flow of being. As the heart settles with the living image seated inside, and as we open wide, as we surrender and trust that we exist in the divine, we are moved by the divine, carried by the divine, and all our activities are being done by that. It's not we who are the doers. We are not the thinkers. We are not the doers. All these are happening by that grace. So this is one of the fundamental thing in Karma Yoga, to continuously to remember and to realize deeply that I am not the doer. The winds are not blowing because I am doing something about it. The sun is not rising because of my actions. The seasons are changing, the trees are blooming, the grass is growing. There is a great power behind, there's a great wisdom behind. Even if we look inside, growth of my hair, or digestion of my food, circulation of my blood, renewal of my cells, nothing is in my hands. I'm not the one who is doing it. There is wisdom in the body. There is an intelligence in the body. A profound intelligence that is way beyond our rational intelligence. One with the larger intelligence of earth and life. In between, we have our breath, our thoughts, our little actions. We imagine that it is ours. We take ownership over it. We get worked up with that, believing that we are the doers. First thing is to get out of that delusion, that illusion, and to see that thoughts are happening. Breath is happening. Actions are happening. Waking up to that natural flow of action, thoughts, feelings, and to seek that who is behind all this. To continuously contemplate, no matter what we do, cooking, taking bath, walking, talking to someone, listening to someone, doesn't matter what, to remember. And the more this sense and this presence settles, there is a security, there is a safety, there is a profound gratitude, a profound humility that arises out of it. And you begin to forget yourself. And that's the most important thing, to forget yourself. Otherwise, we get trapped in our little ego that is trying to be self-aware. It builds awareness around itself. If we are able to forget about ourselves and to contemplate on that, the divine presence, and begins to sense its presence, the way it sends thoughts, way it sends insights, way it arranges life, way it leads you through all the stumbling, all that appeared to be not so great according to our own little mental plan, but down the line we see that that was the right thing to happen. There is a greater wisdom at work. And if we are able to offer everything to that wisdom, and continuously contemplate on that wisdom and relate to that and sense the presence and open to that presence and live in that grace, there's nothing more joyful one can get in life, because there is absolute security there. And you're no more alone. You're being guided, nourished, nurtured. And you don't have to struggle to figure things out. Naturally, you surrender. And in surrender, there is natural widening, relaxation. And as we open ourselves more, as we widen more, as we trust more, it infuses, it enters, it embraces, takes up our instrumental layers, the mind, the emotions, the reactions of the vital nature, the sensations. Everything gets refined by its presence. Then whatever we do, you can remember it's you who are doing this. I happen to have a vantage point, a viewpoint, a perspective upon what is unfolding. And it is happening through me, it's happening through everyone else. It's happening through everything, the entire nature is moved by that. And behind all that are moving, there is something deeply silent and still, something that is immobile, holding everything, wide, infinitely wide. Settling in that stillness, offering ourselves to that stillness, to that silence, to that peace, to that wideness. Dissolves the boundaries. We open to a greater flow of being, greater flow of thoughts, a finer flow of emotions, a deeper depths of feeling. Knowledge comes, love flows through, wisdom enters. In that process, we also begins to see we are given work. Divine is doing Divine's work through all, and we too individually have our own little task given. So to constantly remember and ask, what is it that I'm supposed to do now in every step? And relaxing into that force to carry us forward. Especially when we are able to open ourselves, open wide, so that the force enters, the divine force descending from above. And the sign of its presence is an increasing peace, increasing silence, increasing stillness. And upon that foundation, actions unfold, thoughts unfold, daily life interactions unfold. And step by step, our life's work gets revealed. Life purpose gets revealed. Our soul family comes together. You find yourself naturally in the company of the right people, bound by the same love, bound by the same wisdom, bound by the same work. In that, there is freedom. Tremendous freedom in work. There is no struggle. Because you are not the doer. It's being done through you. It is in that realization humility deepens, gratitude deepens. Adoration naturally emerges. And we offer every little thing to that. So remember and offer. And work as worship. And as the love deepens, your work becomes the love made visible. And as you start loving everything you do, as you start going beyond likes and dislikes, as you go beyond right and wrong, and you begin to see the providence of the divine, where everything is a preparation towards a greater good. There is the freedom. There is the joy. There is the profound beauty of surrender and self-giving. And growing intimacy with that which is guiding, leading, and transforming. Naturally, prayer forms. Call arise from the heart whenever there is a difficulty. And the moment there is a deep call, there is also the response, living response from the divine. And the divine is no more an abstraction, but a living reality. You're connected all the time. You're in conversation. You're in increasing union. You're in increasing surrender. Portion of that mystery. And your outlook to life changes as we look at everything from that perspective, everyone from that perspective, every act from that perspective, everything happening in the world from that perspective. And we discover the beloved behind all this, the playful, joyful, soul of delight behind all things, guiding all things, leading the world towards a greater splendor. In that love, every little detail matters. We fall unconscious, but we wake up and offer again. Asatoma satgamaya. Tamasoma jyotirgamaya. Mrityoma amritam gamaya. Towards light, towards freedom, towards ananda. With that, I would like to end and would like to take up questions or sharing from you. You can post your sharing your questions in the comments. So here we have a question from Dhvani Trivedi. How to realize that the work one is doing is the right one for him? Swadharma. There's one more question. If we are not the doer, then do we set goals? There are different stages of our development. In the early stage, where we are largely unconscious, we have some mental ideas, we have some longing in the heart, but we are pretty much unaware, and inner being is still fragmented and unorganized. In that condition, yes, there is an individual effort in concentration, in purification and integration of various parts of our being. At that time, goal setting as well as mentally trying to comprehend the Swadharma, what one truly is meant to do, has a place. Initially, our attempt to understand our Swadharma is trying to identify what one really likes to do. Though it is still at the level of the mental and vital being, the more we are able to purify and integrate our inner instruments, the more inner guidance emerge. And the more the clarity of the inner guidance, the more we get aligned with our Swadharma, what we are meant to do. And one of the signs of getting aligned is that we do what is given to us regardless of liking or disliking. Because we begins to trust the inner guide. And there's a leap of faith in the guidance. But that clarity emerges over a period of time. And there is the constant natural inner guidance where whenever we are off, we feel uneasy. And whenever we do the right thing, we feel that ease, that inner harmony. We move from fragmentation to integration. So we observe our daily life activities, which are largely unconscious, and bring conscious attention to every detail. And that is the space where goal setting or identifying, even if it is mental identification of a purpose for one's life, even a purpose for the day, purpose for the week, even in terms of simple tasks to do, become very, very useful because these develop our faculty of will that puts various instruments together. In early stage, it has a place. And we master time, master our will. From there, gradually we move towards surrendering each part. So there is a pre-egoic stage where the ego itself is not well formed. The individual ego is not formed. We are part of the collective ego. That's where there is an effort, a mental effort. The intelligent will play a crucial role. Purification of the intelligent will. And to master the vital and the physical movements. And to direct them. Help them to listen to the deeper inner guide and follow its call. Become very, very crucial. And in that process, our mental individualization takes place. It's only when that consolidation happens, then we have something to offer, to surrender. That's when we begins to surrender the power of thought, the power of individual will to a greater inner movement of aspiration. We begins to distinguish between the movement of aspiration arising from the soul, distinctly different from the will, the desire, the impulse, drive. As the distinction grows, we are able to surrender to that deeper movement. And as the peace and silence settles, the guidance becomes clear, and the Swadharma naturally unfolds. It gets revealed. It is not something that we can mentally construct. It gets revealed from within. It awakens like a remembrance, smriti, the true memory of why we are here, what we are meant to do. So in the later stages, the surrender deepens. That's where even the goals are given to us. There is no contradiction between, even in that freedom, the goals, the steps on the way. Just like in music, there is a beat. There is arohan, there is avarohan, there is a whole flow. There is a clear structure behind it. So instead of a mental, strict, hard discipline, we move more and more towards the rhythm of the being. It has a structure, it has a flow. It has an intuition and plan. Just like our Indian classical dancer or musician, they use framework, grammar of dance or music as an underlying structure. But within that, there is tremendous flexibility and improvisation. So initial phase is learning the grammar, the structure, the discipline, setting of the goals, training the instruments, preparing them. Then as we offer ourselves, open the instrument, then something else takes over. But it honors the grammar. It acts rhythmically, but it is infinitely flexible, improvises as per the changing demands of life. Thank you.